In the following video, I want to introduce you to some awesome software for video transcoding. This is Handbrake. It's an open source, multi-platform, multi-threaded video transcoder, which is really amazing. And they've just released a new version, and it does one of the things which is excellent, which is you can load any type of file in. Now, one of the nice things about Handbrake is that if you go to their wiki, you can find all sorts of information about how to use the software. There's a quick guide as well as some longer guides to it, and it goes through all the different settings like deinterlacing, decombing, frame rates, X264, the H.264 options, as well as the command line interface. So it's a really great guide to actually learning how to use the software. Once you've installed the software, just go to the Start menu. We'll load up that software real quick. And here's basically what you'll see. Now, if you look at source, you'll see that we can use video files, or we can use a folder, video TS folder, which is DVD folder, or we can actually load directly from a DVD, which is kind of cool. The next thing we have is start the encoding process for anything that we have currently loaded. We can also add to queue, and the cool thing about adding to a queue is that we can actually batch encode with this, which is great. We can see the activity window, which shows us all the different options about what's going on at a particular time. And this is it actually loading up all the different encoders and everything else. And then we can minimize this. Over on the right side, you see that we have all these different presets, and as we double-click on these different presets, it actually changes our settings, which are right here. Now we've got our picture settings like cropping. We've got our size here that we can change, and we can actually change the different types of pixels that we have, or how we change those. We've got some filters like detelecing, which is changing the frame rate, decombing, which has to do with fields, and then deinterlacing fields as well. We also have denoise and then deblock, which is to hopefully fix a little bit of already compressed video. Under our video settings, we have the codec that we might be using. Now right above, you'll see that we have our output wrapper, MP4 or M4V, which are very similar. Also the MKV, AVI, and OGM files. Now our video codecs, we have the typical ones like MPEG-4 and H.264. You can see that we can make a target size for this, or we can also change our kilobytes per second if we want to change it based upon kilobytes versus quality. We even have the ability to put on 2-pass encoding, which is of course going to improve our encoding a great deal. Under our audio and subtitles, we can actually use multiple audio tracks. So if our DVD has like 3 different audio tracks, we can encode each of those different tracks to different settings if we want. We have the ability to use chapters, such as if we have a DVD. We have advanced things, which are being able to change the number of bidirectional frames or predictive frames. This stuff will take a little bit of getting used to. One of the things that you might want to do is if you hover over options, you'll see that tooltips will come up. And that's a really nice thing to help you learn what each setting is all about. And the next thing is our query editor. If you generate a query, you'll see that that's actually what the software does. It generates some sort of text file that runs all the options. To load a file, we choose our video file, and it will read our source. And the nice thing about it is it does read MPEG-2 encoded files. And then we will browse for where we want to save the file and give it a name. Hit save. Change all of our settings. So I'm going to use the iPod Touch 40 by whatever size. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the fast deinterlacing, which is a normal deinterlacing, and pretty much everything else I'm going to leave pretty much the way it is. I'm going to save it as an MP4 format, and then I can add that to my queue, and now I can run it. And you'll see it actually runs the window here, and it's just encoding task 1 of 1. I didn't even put it on 2-pass encoding, but that's basically how you want to do it. You do need to play around with the different settings, of course, to be able to do things. If you go to different formats, you'll notice that you possibly might have more video codecs, but this really tries to give you only choices of using the MPEG-4 video codecs. So that's what it's made for. I hope you enjoy.